name, sir?
Bruce Alford.
All right, Mr. Alford. First and foremost, you've been charged with 2 charges from the Aiken County Sheriff's Department for obtaining signature of property under false pretenses. The warrants were signed by an investigator in the CID division. My name is Judge Carroll. My husband, Billy Flurry, works in the CID division. You have every right to have another judge set your bond if you so choose. We'd have another person come today to do that. That had absolutely no connection with the Sheriff's Department. So I gave you a form indicating that, and you signed it saying you wanted me to set your bond. Have you had enough time to think about that?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you sure you want me to set your bond? You just have to waive the conflict if you so choose.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. The other thing is, I know that Mr. Sussman had called to see whether or not you were coming up for bond. Is he representing you on these charges?
No, he's in trial. I called, but he is representing me on those charges, but he's at a trial right now.
So you want to go forward with your bond hearing without him here?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So you understand the 2 charges that you're charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand you have the right to request a jury trial on both of these charges, and you also have the right to have an attorney with you when you go to court. If you can't afford an attorney, if you decide you don't want to hire a private attorney, you can go through a screening process to see whether or not you're eligible for a court-appointed attorney. Would you like for me to start that process now, or do you feel comfortable that you're going to hire Mr. Sussman?
He's already hired.
All right. If something happens, though, I have to let you know that you can still go by the public defender's office on York Street to go through that screening process.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you must appear in court on these charges. If
Yes,
you
ma'am.
don't appear, they're going to try you in your absence, and if you're found guilty, they can issue a bench warrant for your arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
They can also charge you with another charge of failure to appear if you don't go to court on your court date.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you go to court and if you're found not guilty, they're going to take this off your record for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Because these charges do carry the possible penalty of up to 10 years in jail on each charge, you have the right to have a hearing to find out what the evidence is against you. It's called a preliminary hearing. Tell me anything you want to tell me in regards to your bond.
I just want to be with my family.
Are you out on bond on other charges?
Yes, ma'am.
And what charges are those?
Conversion.
And that must be in Georgia.
Yes, ma'am.
And what's your bond for those?
One's 50, one's 10, one's 100.
And you're able to make all those bonds?
Yes, ma'am. My mother and father-in-law are.
And are there any sort of statements from the victims?
One victim is asking to request no bond, if possible.
All right, thank you very much. Now, your court dates have been set for November the 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning at 109 Park Avenue. And then your second appearance date would be November the 30th at 11 o'clock at that same location.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to initial here saying today you don't want to be screened for a public defender, but if for whatever reason you have to go through that screening, it explains that you go by the public defender's office on York Street and then sign at the bottom, those are your court dates. Here's your rights form. It tells you the importance of having an attorney, the importance of showing up for court so you're not tried in your absence, and your obligation to keep up with your court date. Sign with the X's. I'm going to give you a copy of that. You'll understand what your obligations are. Are you currently operating your business?
No, ma'am. The judge in Columbia County shut it down
And so when did that happen?
about a month ago.
How are you supporting yourself?
Family members.
And so you have a total of 3 charges in Augusta,
Yes, ma'am.
and then you have the 2 charges here.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you aware of any other charges that are going to be pending?
So I've got some in Lincolnton that we bonded out and McDuffie County.
So it's a total of 5 as of today,
Yes, ma'am.
and you've appeared in court each and every time?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you turn yourself in on these charges,
Yes,
or they
ma'am.
pick you up?
Well, Aiken, they picked me up. I didn't know I had a warrant at Aiken. And they came to my house and, I went freely.
All right, sir, I'm gonna set your bond, I'm not denying your bond, because I think you're entitled to a bond. Now, they're gonna be a little bit higher than normal based on the fact that have these chains of charges that are pending. I'm gonna set them at $30,000 each, so it's a total of $60,000. It's a surety bond, so you're aware that you can hire a bonding company, you can post cash, or if you own real estate in Aiken County, there's a way that you can use that real estate. Any questions? Conditions of this bond, actually no contact with the victims. If you contact them in any way, it can be a revocation of your bond. All right, so you're going to initial next to your court date, sign on the back next to your address, and your bond paperwork will be complete. And here's a copy of the bond for you.